Good afternoon. My name is Jeffrey Russell. It is November the 12th, 2016. I wanted to talk about what's going on still after the election. I'm upset. I'm pissed. This isn't this isn't America. This isn't the way adults act. This isn't the way it's supposed to be. There's people in major cities rioting, beating the shit out of white people, setting cop cars on fire, and that's not okay. Now, I blame this on three groups of people. I blame this on parents, I blame this on the media, and I blame this on our leadership, especially people like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. This is the generation of trophy winners, where everybody wins and everybody gets a trophy. When you create a society of winners, people don't learn how to take defeat. People don't learn how to lose. And unfortunately, life isn't fair and you lose sometimes. Some people lose more than others, but hey, that's life. Now, parents who have coddled their children to teach them that their feelings matter. Your feelings don't matter. It doesn't, your feelings should not dictate facts. Okay, your feelings are not a fact. Your feelings are your feelings. And making people oblige you because of the way you feel is narcissism. I've never seen a group of people that are so self-indulged and self-centered. T.D. Jakes, who is a pastor, um, had a series that he called Forever the Victim. And that is exactly what we have here. People have lost, okay, in a fairly fair election. I There was a woman. Oh, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Beverly something. The woman who discovered the election fraud back in 2000 in Florida. She has come out and said that there was obvious voter fraud against Donald Trump. And the only reason that he won was because it was a landslide. See, if you're going to rig an election, you can only do so much. Okay? If on election night Hillary won by, you know, 5 or 10 million votes, that would obviously have been election fraud because the polls said that Donald Trump won. The exit polls. So the people who are saying that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, I I mean, I don't know. She might have, but when you have polling places open for an extra 2 hours, and they didn't call Florida, which was one of the first states in, was one of the last states called. In California, when they had 0% called in, it had already been given to Hillary. So there was some obvious hanky panky going on with the election. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, Trump had so many people come out and vote for him, and it's admitted there was dead people on the voter registry. uh you know it's they admit that they bust people in and have them vote 10 times. It's admitted. So, people who are pissed because she supposedly won the popular vote, and I can't say either way, I don't know. But you can't say for sure one way or the other. So, but unfortunately, that's the way our system is run through the Electoral College. And I don't know if you looked at the map, but if you have the United States, right, like this right behind me here. Sorry, this is weird. The coasts, that's where most of the blue was, up on the coasts. The whole rest of the country, for the most part, was red. And he flipped, was it 3 states or 4? So, you know, and from what I understand, the vote flipping, people trying to vote for Trump and it going to Hillary, there wasn't any voter fraud from going from Hillary to Trump. It always went from Trump to Hillary, from Republican to Democrat. Uh, and that's on video. I've seen it. So, can we all just grow up? Now, the media. I hold the media probably most responsible in my eyes. You have demonized Donald Trump and filled everyone's head with he's a racist, he's a bigot, when he's not. He's a realist, okay? Stating that some Mexicans who are illegal kill people or rape people when what was it? Was it like something like 75 or was it 90%? A very large number of women who come up through Mexico to get here are raped at least once. So, making Donald Trump out to be this horrible racist when he's not, when he's telling people facts that most of us already know, that's not racism. It has nothing to do with race. If it was a bunch of German people coming over and raping our women and murdering people, would it still be racism if he called them out? I'm just really frustrated that we have this group of pseudo intellectual, college age idiots who are fed this propaganda from their professors and they believe it hook, line, and sinker, whether it's true or not. People like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, these are your supporters. These are people who believe in you. I haven't seen a whole lot of Trump people setting cop cars on fire and rioting, damaging storefronts. There was a high school girl who you can go watch the video. She posted something on Facebook about Donald Trump. This, I believe it was in was it in California? I believe so. And this black girl goes over and grabs her by the hair and beats the shit out of her for having an opinion that was different than hers. Now, the Democrats are supposed to be the party of love and understanding and diversity, right? If that's true, why aren't you loving and understanding about people who have different opinions? You know, when they talk about diversity, we need more diversity. You don't see a whole lot of people on the right getting brought into your group. You know, when companies or like CNN talk about needing diversity, okay, why don't you bring in more people on the right? Because that's real diversity. Okay? We're all the same. We're all people. I don't care if you're black or white or Mexican or Asian or Puerto Rican or Guatemalan or German, or we're all people. We all have feelings, we all have opinions, you know. That's not diversity. I'm really ashamed of our country. I'm embarrassed that we have this group of people who think it's okay just to go out and throw a fit because they're taught that if somebody hurts your feelings, you're a victim. And it doesn't matter if you physically hurt somebody, if your feelings are hurt, it's okay. If your feelings are hurt, it's okay to go out and hurt people. It's okay to destroy things. We're a bunch of 5-year-olds in 20-year-olds' bodies. What have we become? You know, and in the Bible, it talks about, you know, that we're going to be controlled by the princes of our sins. You know, meaning the more evil that we have in our country, the more laws we need, the more masters we need. And that's exactly what's happening. You can't have freedom without having self control, self discipline. And hey, I'm a laid back guy. I know I don't have a lot of self discipline. I don't. But I don't let my feelings overcome me. And, you know, like I don't get so mad at my wife that I punch her in the face and then make her feel bad about it because she hurt my feelings. That's not okay. The generation that's coming up right behind mine are the most self-centered, narcissistic people I have ever met. You know, just because your feelings are hurt doesn't give you the right to hurt somebody. Doesn't give you the right to act like a child. You know, I remember in the 8th grade watching the towers fall. I watched that. That's real. People died. A lot of people died. And whether you want to believe that the government was involved or not, People died. That's the bottom line. That's real. How would those people handle that today? How would people in college handle that today? You know, Oklahoma Wesleyan University's uh, dean or president, I can't remember who, said that he had a student come to him after a sermon because the sermon made him feel guilty and he felt like he was being victimized. Now, what people don't understand is guilt is a manifestation of your conscience. If you do something bad or immoral, you feel guilty about it. And the way you try to get rid of that guilt is, you confess your sins, or you try to even it out. You do something good to try and make that guilt go away. That's the way it works. That's you know your your morals, your conscience inside of you telling you you're doing something wrong. There's a reason it's there, because we are built to self-regulate. However, the more you ignore your conscience, the easier it becomes to do things you're not supposed to do. And the president of Oklahoma Wesleyan University, which, unlike almost every other college in the country, who took days out of class and people had hot cocoa and were able to come together and to talk about how their feelings were hurt because they're victims because they lost an election. I just can't fathom that. And it's not like any of them were running for president. It's not like any of them actually put in the time and the effort of doing what Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump did. They just supported a candidate and they lost. And now, because they lost, they're victims and they are going to make you pay for it. Somewhere along the lines, things got turned around, things got flipped. I don't know if you know this, but it was the Republicans who fought for civil rights. It was the Republicans who fought to end black slavery. And somewhere along the lines, people have forgotten that. The KKK was started by Democrats. And you can say that that's a conspiracy theory. Okay, go look it up. So, the Democrats saying that they are the group of tolerance and love is a load of crap. Because I haven't seen any Republicans out there on the streets destroying our country. And I wonder why people like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama aren't out there, aren't on TV telling these people to stop. That this is not the way you conduct yourself in a republic. I'm sorry that you lost. But stating that you want to have another election until Hillary wins, that's not a republic or even a democracy. That's fascism. And you want to talk and call Donald Trump a fascist? You know, they have over in uh, North Korea, or is it South Korea? I think it's North Korea with Kim Jong Un. They have elections over there too, and there's only one name on the ballot. I bet you he wins every time. If you take away the republic, which is what this country is, we're a constitutional republic. A lot of people think that we're a democracy. That's not true. We are a constitutional republic. There is a difference. A lynch mob is a democracy. A constitutional republic protects everybody's individual rights. That's why you have the right to a fair trial, the right of, innocent until proven guilty, because we have a constitutional republic. You know, everybody likes Nirvana for the most part. You know what Kurt Cobain said back in 1993? He said he believed his generation was going to be the one to turn it around. That his generation would be the generation to wake up and realize that we were being played by both sides. Which, if you don't believe that you're being played, if you're a Democrat or if you're an establishment Republican, you're a fool. Okay? You are. You're a fool. He said that he believed his generation would elect some outsider billionaire, and he even used Donald Trump as his example. He said somebody like Donald Trump, an outsider who couldn't be bought, who would give the country back to the people. Now that's Kurt Cobain. For all of you hippie trendies out there, that's Kurt Cobain. That's the guy who started it. Who started the whole, you know, grunge thing that so many people idolize. Right out of his mouth. We used to fight the government. Now the government has brainwashed you into fighting for them. Because the Democrats don't want, liberal comes from liberate or liberty, meaning freedom. Somehow the liberals stand for more government interference, more government regulation, more taxes. How, and that's why I said on my last video, we live in this upside down world. Liberal used to mean freedom. Now liberal means more government. And it blows my mind how dumb we are, because we think, you know, go back 100 years, we had less government and things were better. It was easier to slide up and down the, uh, the wealth ladder. It was easier to go up and down, as you could have more wealth, and it wasn't so hard to get wealth as it is now. Now both parents better work or you're not going to make it as a family. And for some reason, we think that if we have more government, it's going to make it all better. When the opposite has proven to be true. You guys want to say that you believe in science and all of that stuff. Well, here, let's look. Go back to, 1860, back during the Civil War. After that time, we were still fairly free up until 1913 when the Fed was created. And since then, our freedoms have gotten crushed to where we have a little less and a little less every year. And they tell you it's to keep you safe. But you know what's weird? If you're an American coming from, let's say you went to Germany or France and you came back, you have to take your shoes off, you have to go through the full body scanner, you have to go through customs, all that crap. They can go through all of your stuff, and there's nothing that you can do about it. But a Mexican can run across the border, and if he's stopped by Border Patrol, they ask him if he needs water, or if he needs food, or maybe diapers, or formula, and then they let him go. They make sure that he doesn't have any drugs or weapons, and then they let him go. Now, somewhere along the lines, Americans have had their rights taken away, and illegal immigrants have been given our rights. You know, all these people like Chelsea Handler and Patton Oswalt, Bill Maher, you guys disgust me. You really do. Oprah Winfrey said, "Everybody take a deep breath. It's all going to be okay." And I think it was Patton Oswalt tweeted back, like, you hold your breath. Take a deep breath and hold it, Oprah Winfrey. We're all, in fear for our lives. Is that what you really think? You really think Donald Trump is just out to destroy the country? Do you know how stupid that sounds? The man has his entire life invested in this country. If this country goes down the tubes, so does his entire livelihood. How much sense does that make? But you're cool and you're trendy, so let's feed the fire. People have talked for years. When I was growing up, I feel like we were kind of the cutoff between Generation X and the Millennials. Was my generation. We were kind of in between. Because the generation below us was the trophy generation. And the generation above us, you know, our parents and our grandparents, the people who fought in World War II and in Vietnam and the Cold War, you know, there is a huge difference between that generation and the generation below us. And I feel like, as the in between, we we need to explain to the younger generation that they're being used, they're being exploited. This is what they want. You are doing the government's bidding. Because the government doesn't want to give up its power. Would you? If you were, king, would you want to give up your power? No, you wouldn't. And we have somebody who is threatening the government's power over you. And instead of rallying behind this guy, because trust me, if anybody's going to hold Donald Trump responsible, it's the people who voted for him. Because we don't have anybody else. And he's representing us. And if he turns out to be a failure or turns out to be not what he claimed he was, we are going to be the ones to get him out of the White House. We are going to be the ones that hold his feet to the fire. So the thought that he's just out to destroy the country doesn't make any sense. Do you think I want our country destroyed so my kids don't have a future? Is that what you think? You know, it hasn't even been a week since the election. And the people who lost, one lady said that there's going to be blood on both sides. How am I supposed to take that? You want blood? I don't mean this bad, but you're going, if you want blood, if that's the way you're going to take it, you're going against the most gun owning people in the world. Because we are, gun loving people. There are people who have more guns in their house than they do hands. So talking like that, it makes you sound crazy or stupid. And that's not what we're supposed to be. It used to be okay to disagree. It used to be okay to win or to lose. And somewhere this generation of trophy winners is just so used to being coddled and hugged and told that, you know, if their feelings are hurt, they need to come talk to somebody. And that's not the way. What are you going to do when the electric company calls and is about to shut off your electricity? Are you going to tell them that they're victimizing you and they're hurting your feelings, so they should just keep your electricity on? No, that's not what they're going to do. This world isn't fair. And you know what? If we would have lost, I guarantee you we would not be doing what you all are doing. I guarantee it. So can we? It hasn't even started yet. It's not even January 20th. He hasn't even started. So can we give the guy who has a perfectly clean slate a chance? We had Bush, then Clinton, then Bush, then Obama. We had Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. Like, that's usually the way it goes, especially if there's been two terms. You usually have, you know, it switches. You've had 8 years of Obama. Now we've won. Politics in the United States, because there's only two parties, swing back and forth, searching for that happy medium. Well, you've had 8 years of Obama. Can we move on? That's what a republic is. Okay? And if you all keep pushing this, the only people you're really hurting are yourselves. The only people you're making look bad are yourselves. And the people in the media and our leaders like Barack Obama, I'm holding you all personally responsible for all of the damage that's going out on this country. Because you have demonized Donald Trump, you have turned him into this bad guy, which he is not, and you know it. This is your fault. And if you really want to help, if you really are the leader of the free world like you say you are, you should be just as worried as the people hiding inside of their house trying to protect their family as you are about the people out rioting. You have a duty to protect all of us. Now, if some people want to go outside the line, those people, I'm sorry, are domestic terrorists. That's what they're doing. They are terrorizing their communities, their cities. That is terrorism, using fear to try and control what other people do. That is terrorism. And you have a duty to protect your law abiding citizens, which, as of right now, are Trump supporters. So, as a Trump supporter and an American citizen who has not broken the law, I demand that something be done about this. Because I shouldn't be punished for voting my conscience, which is what you all supposedly stand for. So if that's what you really stand for, you need to get out there and stop this and start protecting your citizens. So I hope you all have learned something today. If you haven't, or if you disagree, please leave me a comment. Thinking about taking this channel part-time, maybe doing something a couple times a week. I don't know. Uh, just kind of going over the day-to-day news and whatnot. So anyway, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless and be safe. Thank you.